Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and we're here today with one of our special edition videos on mtggoldfish.com. Today me and Richard are playing the Duel Deck Zendikar vs Eldrazi. So, as you know, we always do these videos. This one's a little bit late. Part of the problem is we have to wait for the cards to come out on Magic Online, which is after they come out on paper, and then there's Pro Tours and all this other stuff, so we're a little late, but better late than never, as they say. So anyway, what we're doing today is we're going to play two matches. One match, I am playing Eldrazi, and Richard is playing Zendikar. And then we'll switch decks, and I will play Zendikar while Richard will play Eldrazi. So you kind of get to see two different players playing each of the decks and kind of how they stack up against each other. So anyway, $19.99 is the MSRP on the product. I think you can get it a little bit cheaper if you look to Amazon and other online sources. Let's talk quickly about the decks, and then we'll get right to the gameplay videos. The Zendikar deck. The Zendikar deck is a aggro-ish landfall/ally deck. It is built around some ally synergies, like Veteran War Leader, Tajuru Archer, Stonework Puma. So there's a few allies in there which give each other abilities. Then we have some landfall synergies, like Frontier Guide. We have Grazing Gladeheart. And then, of course, the big finisher, Avenger of Zendikar. So Avenger for Zendikar, the face card of the Zendikar deck. It's a 7-mana 5/5. When it enters a battlefield, you put a plant token into play for each land you control. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on all your plants. So it creates this huge army, and it's a great way to finish the game. It looks a little bit out of place in an aggro deck, but there's enough ramp cards which are there because of the landfall synergies, like Kelny Heart Expedition, Harrow, Explorer's Scope, that you can reasonably get up to 7 mana and then cast your Avenger of Zendikar. The other chase cards in the Zendikar deck, Primal Command, the green command in the Lorwyn command cycle, Stirring Wildwood, the green-white creature land from Worldwake. It pay 3 mana, 1 a green and a white, becomes a 3/4 with reach. You get a Scoop Mob, not really a chase card, but a powerful card. It's a 1/1 for 1 green. If you have 5 or more lands, you get to put 5 +1/+1 counters on it at the beginning of your upkeep. Sort of the green version of Dragon Master Outcast. And then switching over to the Eldrazi side, the Eldrazi deck is basically a ramp deck. It has some of the cheap Eldrazi from Battle for Zendikar, like Forerunner of Slaughter, has a Dominator drone, but the main idea of the deck is to get up to a lot of mana and cast huge Eldrazi, like Ulamog's Crusher, Artisan of Kozilek, and It That Betrays. So It That Betrays is one of the more expensive cards from the Eldrazi deck. It is a 12/12 for 12. It's an Eldrazi, it has Annihilator 2, and whenever your opponent sacrifices a permanent, you get to put that permanent into play under your control. So it basically, instead of just sacking to the graveyard, it actually steals your opponent's permanents when they sack them to the Annihilator triggers, or for any other reason. It also has a Butcher of Malakir. Butcher of Malakir is pretty sweet. It is a 7-mana 5/4 flyer, and it has an ability wherever a creature you control dies, your opponent has to sacrifice a creature, and this comes into play with a bunch of the original Eldrazi spawn token generating creatures. Like you have 3 Emrakul's Hatcher. It's a 3/3 for 5 mana. When it comes into play, you put 3/0/1 Eldrazi spawn tokens onto the battlefield that you can sack to add a mana. So with a Butcher of Malakir on the battlefield, you can just sack those spawn tokens at any time and make your opponent sacrifice a creature. So the deck has a lot of synergy, and once it goes big, it is super powerful. It's just, you can't really go over the top of it. So I think that the power level rests with Eldrazi. It's certainly the more powerful of the two. Zendikar has to be the aggro synergy deck for it to have a chance at winning the matchup. So we'll see how it goes, but anyway, I'm excited to play it out. I always have fun playing these videos with Richard. We have a great time doing these matches, and I always look forward to it. So anyway, we'll get to the matches. First, don't forget to check out mtggoldfish.com. We have decks, prices, the metagame, strategy, basically anything and everything you could want related to Magic the Gathering. And if you enjoyed the video and all the other videos we make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up on all the latest and greatest. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.